people. Today we're going to talk about the Zylmex P-51B and P-51D Mustang. This is my earliest version. It's got like a racing deco to it. There's an earlier version that's in a metallic blue, and I don't have it anymore. I used to have it when my brother and I were young. We had one, but I don't know what happened to it. But in this old trademark Modern Toys catalog, we see that variation pictured here. On the bottom, we see the Zylmex logo, the Zylmex name, Z, and Dyna-Flights. It's not often you see all that on the bottom of one casting. But you know that when you see that, then it's an early variation, and this one is early. A108. Mustang, P-51B, and Hong Kong. Of all the older type aircraft, non-jet, aircrafts, I think this is probably my favorite. It's just a cool little aircraft. Second one I have to show you has a slightly different propeller style. It looked like here, the post that they push the propeller on is obviously protruding through, but on this one they made it much larger. They made a really large bulge there and covered the end of that post. I thought that was interesting that they bothered to go that far with it. There's the cast wheels. Look at the wheels on this one. Yep, those are the machined metal. So we've got the casted wheels, but we still have a plastic windshield. Notice the size of the sticker and how the deco kind of wraps around the body of the plane there. Now the Hong Kong marking has been removed. We still see it says Mustang P-51B. The Z name and Dyna-Flights are still there with the mold marking, but the Zylmex name and logo are gone, which is so strange. But this is probably my favorite deco for this aircraft. I don't know, I like the lines. There's something about it that just really...
Tell me one more time why we never win.
Well, number one.
Number one,
There's Mustang.
Mustang.
Miss, do you have a car for me?
Sir, why, we have 18 models to choose from. Number one, there's Mustang.
I'll take
and
it.
Number one, there's Mustang, America's #1 sporty car. Mach 1, shaker up front. Spoiler in the back. 428 powerhouse in between. Mustang, #1 for 1970.
Racket, honey. What have you missed the most since you've been away?
Well, number one, my Mustang.
Ford gives you better ideas. It's the going thing.
All right, so with this variation, we see some immediate changes. The propeller has gone back to being the old style, but it's not chromed anymore. And the sticker on the side there is a lot larger. The windshield looks a lot clearer, which is impressive. The windshield on this just doesn't look very good. The exposure of the glue, you can see the glue that's holding it on. But this looks really good. I like how they did that. And then on the bottom, the Hong Kong marking's still gone. P-51B Mustang. Dyna-Flights A108. And then we've got this big hole in the bottom. Oh, it says made in China right there. Yeah, we don't have that on this one. So, yeah, that makes me wonder if there's some other variations that I don't have, like maybe a variation with this gaping hole, but not with the addition of made in China in the casting. I don't know. It's something I'll have to look out for. So, I did a lot of research and find that, again, you've probably heard this 100 times if you're watching my channel a lot, but my oldest Zylmex catalog, or Intex catalog, goes back to 1978. And from 1978 all the way up to 1990, we don't see any mention of the P-51 Mustang until 1990. And they label it as a P-51D Mustang, which makes me think it's just a typo, because the casting is still marked P-51B. Now, this third variation that we're looking at may not actually be the variation that's shown in the 1990 catalog, but considering the change in the amount of material being used to create the casting, I have to assume that that was a change made in the 90s to bring back the model. Regardless, we get to this fourth variation now, which was not available. This one with the solid canopy is by Motormax. So this was not a Zylmex product, and we won't find this in the old Zylmex catalogs, but we do see it in the Motormax catalogs. We see the marking. This is a whole new casting, so the markings have changed dramatically. But there at the bottom, it says P-51D Mustang. So there was an intent to change the model over to a P-51D. Says Dyna-Flights, which I've not seen very many Motormax models that use the Dyna-Flights name, considering they don't call it Dyna-Flights anymore. So, I don't know, but they're still using the same mold marking, A108, and made in China. Now, this is probably one of the more attractive casting styles for the P-51. I like how the engine exhausts here are a lot more visible. On these other models, it almost looks like that's just a part of the casting mold. You know, it leaked out from the mold. But that's what that's supposed to be, is the exhaust. And through the years, apparently, that casting started to wear out. You can see it a little bit better there. But then on this older variation, you can see the best detail in it. So I don't know what caused that detail to degrade over the years, but this final variation that we see by Motormax, I think, represents that a lot better. And they went back to a propeller with a big bulging ball there in the end. It's funny. But I also like the paint job of this. I like that they chose a different deco from the other variations. But I'm wondering now if this paint job was available with a plastic canopy. Again, that's just something I'll have to look out for. Thanks for watching, people. Make it a great day.